Some stories begin with miracles, but this one begins with trash, because in a forgotten corner of a dusty town, a poor husband started collecting empty bottles, not to sell, not to recycle, but to build a home for the woman he loved more than his own life, a home he believed she deserved, even when the world said he could never afford it. Every morning before the sun rose, the man walked with a torn sack slung over his shoulder. He wandered through alleys, riverbanks, marketplaces, anywhere people threw away what they no longer wanted. Each bottle he picked up was covered in dirt, dents, or leftover liquid. But he didn't complain. He simply wiped them clean and tucked them into the bag. The townspeople laughed at him at first. Some called him useless, others pitied him, because his wife was sick, slowly losing her strength year after year, and their old shack, made of rotting wood and rusted metal sheets, leaked every time it rained. The cold wind slipped through the cracks and made her shiver, even when she smiled and told him she was fine. But he knew she wasn't. He knew she tried to hide her pain so he wouldn't worry. And so, with no money, no land, and no chance of buying proper materials, he made a choice most people would call ridiculous. He would build her a home from the bottles people threw away. Rain or heat, he kept gathering. 5 bottles a day, 8 bottles on a good day, sometimes only 1. His hands cracked from scrubbing, his back ached from carrying. But every night, when he returned to their shack, he would place the bottles in front of his wife and say, "Today, I got a little closer." She would smile, even as her body weakened, even as her breaths grew shorter, because she knew every bottle he brought home was proof of a love that refused to break. Weeks turned into months. The pile of bottles grew, but so did the whispers around town. Why bother? She won't survive long enough to live in that house. He's wasting his time. Sometimes their words pierced him, but then he would look at her frail, soft-spoken, still trying to be strong, and he kept going. Then one night, after nearly a year of collecting, something happened that shattered him. His wife collapsed. He carried her to the clinic, his arms trembling, as if the world was collapsing around him. The doctor's face was calm, too calm, the kind of calm that hides bad news. She needed rest, a warm environment, a stable home, the very things he was trying to build, but wasn't ready yet. That night, he sat beside her bed, holding her hand, praying silently. He felt defeated, like he had failed the only person who ever believed in him. But when she woke up, she whispered something unexpected. She told him she had seen the bottles. She told him she knew what he was doing. And then, with a fragile smile, she said something that broke him completely. "I don't need the house to be finished for me to feel safe, because I've always lived inside your love." He cried for the first time in years, silent tears but deep, painful ones, because he realized the truth. He had been building a home, but she had been building his strength. The next morning, before dawn, the townspeople saw something extraordinary. The man, normally quiet, humble, almost invisible, was standing in the middle of the road crying. He thought he had lost her. But then came the twist. One by one, strangers began to approach him. People he barely knew. People who once mocked him. They gently placed bags, boxes, and bundles in front of him. Inside them, bottles. Hundreds of them. Every color, every shape. more than he could ever collect alone. Someone said, "We want her to see the house finished." And suddenly, the town that once ignored him became an army. Together, they worked day and night, and in just a few weeks, the house stood tall, shining under the sun like a mosaic of hope. A house made from over 1,000 bottles, each one carrying a story of love, struggle, and a community's unexpected kindness. When he brought his wife home, she gasped. The walls glowed softly as sunlight passed through the colorful glass. She touched the bottles with trembling fingers and whispered, "It's beautiful." But what he didn't know, was that among those thousands of bottles was one small jar with a folded piece of paper inside, a message from the townspeople. "Your love built this house. Our love finished it." The house of 1,000 bottles still stands today, not as a mansion, not as a monument, but as a reminder that love isn't measured by wealth or talent or success. Love is measured by effort, by sacrifice, by the courage to keep going even when the world laughs at you. And sometimes, when one person chooses to love deeply, an entire community learns to love alongside them. If this story touched your heart, help it reach someone who needs hope today. Give the video a like, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe for more real-life stories that remind us of the beauty we often forget. Your support helps these stories keep living, just like the house of 1,000 bottles. Thank you for watching.